I'm Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Coach Canada. Welcome to the YouTube live stream. It's kind of warm in here, so we're just gonna deal with it. I will eventually probably leave and go bring my fan over. So if you see me just leave or put another screen on, that's why. So it was fun to try your options. As usual, feel free if you have. I just walked in from across the street where I have to go smoke on the green box. You want to talk about your lease again and this building and what I'm going to do to you in a minute? Why do you think I'm breathing heavy? What time was the live stream? 6 o'clock? What time is it now? 6:05? What happens when you walk upstairs like in this building? You are. Every word you say. You want free service? You want free recovery? You want to come here and comment, insult me? I don't think so, Malton. You were sitting right here. Yeah, we can start with this building. Everything you did yesterday. All in the lease. Everybody on the same page, minimum. We're going to go over the day I was born in Malton in 1979, April 26th. We're going to go over what you guys did yesterday. My window. Why I can't use my own window. The security. The children that I'm bothering out my window. Unit 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The window under me. We can go over the office. All 4 buildings, same management, whatever you'd like. Any questions about narcissistic abuse, feel free to leave them in the comments. LOL, why are you involved with every problem in your building? Because I moved in, and these are the people that lived here. Do you understand that? I signed a lease, got an apartment in a building when I was homeless, and moved into it. And then I don't know what happened. Can you guys explain what happened if you're the ones that lived here? Oh, every false call. You're sitting here joking. I don't care. I told you. You involved children in the police, right? Children's aid? I involved these people? I called on me? So catch up to what you're talking about before it's too late. I think we're past too late, Malton. You're in my chance of being counselor, right? We're going in the mayor election. What are you talking about now? Those are the police. We went over the board, right? They get paid by Peel Region, same mayor. That's where they get their money. Officer Tyler, right? You are all caught up. So what are you telling me today? Would you like me to show you again? Apartment 47 since the day I moved in. Same window. Is that better? I can open the window like when I used to do court. Remember when you put me in court, when you sent me to court? Actual nausea in the morning when I had to do all those days, get up and go to Zoom court. How lucky I was. It wasn't, I had to go to the courthouse. Well, I'm going to tell you. Same window, same air. It's all open now. All caught up where I got a light from. Why use which window and where? To do what? Okay, let's continue then. Units 1 to 4. Right, her and her man. It's the same 4 units. And now again, she called the security guard. Somebody called the security guard. He asked me why I'm bothering the children. So let me hear this again. If I've rented this apartment, you were having parties and playing music from the other building, building 2, right? Outside this window, building 2, where they had the tent, the grass, the same grass. So I want to hear this again. Why would the car come and be telling me about bothering the children if you're the ones having a party and I live here the same way, pay the same money for the same lease? People are allowed to listen to music. It's all legal. Meanwhile, you're filming children like a creepy weirdo. This is the same window, right? When I'm nauseous. I have lifelong nausea. I open the window to get air. Tell me again when I moved in. What happened? Yeah, now I'd like to go over it. The minute I moved in. How I got the key. Let's go. So let's hear some let's see some answers. How I got the key. How do you think I got the key to this apartment when I moved in? Everybody now. Yeah, write it in so I can see it. Right here in Malton, write it in. I need some more answers from all these people that keep coming on and talking. It was just one. Well, go ahead. How do you think I got the key to move into my apartment? They probably gave you a key after you signed the lease. It's a normal procedure. Good. I'm glad we understand that. And you saw me post my lease 8 million times, right? With my name and my apartment, 47, Amy Seukeran. So how is there a problem right now? Can you help me figure that out now? 2 years, that would be quick and easy, right? 2 years wasted to prove it? Absolutely nothing? Which one? Of all the times I had to put people in timeout, can you let me do what I'm supposed to be doing? The problem is you smoke in your unit and you film children from your window and you threaten tenants with violence. Let's go over this again. Building 1. Every tenant. I opened this business in 2019, right? Down the street on Netherwood. We're on Gorway right now. I asked you how many times Alicia lived next door. Where? When did you move in? I did babysitting and tutoring. My teacher's aide in 2010. Let's go over it right now in front of me here. Who I'm talking to. Why you're talking to me. And what these lies are going to end up doing to this building. Much less Malton. Much less what you're going to take back. Much less tomorrow's Monday business, right? You'll all be going to work to make money. Who are you talking to? If you mute me, I'm going to spam your phone. Don't play with me today. I'm on 3,000 milligrams. I don't care. So do you want to explain what it is now? Your 3,000 milligrams? Who gave it to you? Who prescribed it to you? Why you take it? If you mute me, I'm going to spam your phone. That's my personal phone, my business phone. For abuse victims, right? My business. So explain this again. Where? In what world? You talk to me like that. How do you know Ariana Grande? From where? Disney Channel? How old was she? Disney Channel. Dan Schneider, I asked. What year the Dan Schneider he got exposed? How I know what about Ariana Grande? Yeah, exactly. It's available over the counter. It's not a prescription. It's a natural supplemental legal. So is it a pill? The 3,000 milligrams? Is it one pill that you take? What's in one pill? Is it powder? What is it? I didn't hear you. I posted 3,000 milligrams is equal to 30 grams of Mary Jane, right? You can have 30 grams a day legally in Canada. You can go into the store and buy it. So they're trying to calculate all of everybody while they didn't know how to do it. And you've been here for since it was legalized. Then we can get into vape and edibles and how you calculate that. One vape pen. Go ahead, 3,000 milligrams. You tell them. It's a powder in a gel capsule. In the morning at 1 at night, so it's 1,200. Out of 3,000. If you take 2 capsules a day, that's 1,200 milligrams, right? You said 3,000. It reduces stress and gives you energy and enhances memory. It helps the body produce testosterone, all legal and healthy testosterone. Oh, that's nice. I don't want to be a man. I'm just going to smoke the Mary Jane. Thanks. How much do you pay for it? How many pills are in there? Capsules. Well, you can get the powder. Instead of a capsule, you just put it in water and drink it. I don't know if it's cheaper or better. You have to carry the pills, can't carry the powder. We've come a long way, right? Mary Jane has little pouches with powder that I buy for the nausea that I can put into any food to try to help it. So I don't know what you know. But edibles, my prescription was edibles and vape, right? I had to buy cookies and chocolate and gummies. Those were my options for nausea. Did you forget? Actual nausea. That was the prescription. I didn't just make this up. Those were the options. I got it at Shoppers Drug Mart on sale at Frugal. I collect out of Optimal points. Mary Jane is grown. It's a plant, right? It's the dried leaf that you smoke. What is the difference? That says it's the extract. That's the oil. So cannabis has oil and they make products out of it. What's the difference? You can prove it's actually Mary Jane, then go for it. Do you know what mushrooms are? Genius. Poison ivy is a plant. Are you going to smoke that too? Why did they want to legalize and have those stores, the magic mushrooms? They're not supposed to be legal because they do what to you? Yeah, let's compare fairly. What are the effects of Mary Jane and what are the effects of mushrooms? Why they can't have the stores opened? Yeah, those are your children. Quickly. Yep. If? Yes, go over. About schizophrenic, hallucinating, the real effects, driving, working, what it does, the mushrooms. and the Mary Jane? Why you can't legalize both? How many years ago? There are mushroom stores all over Toronto and Ottawa. Okay, now let's think about this. 19 is legal, right? Mushrooms. You have to work. You have to go where? Take the bus drive? What are the effects of mushrooms? How long does it take to work? And if your kids are getting it, then if people are selling illegal ones, that's providing you go to the store, right? Just like the Mary Jane, the store has legal, right? Safe. I had the nausea since 19. Remember going over that? Same nausea since 19. Going over where I got it from, right here in Malton. It was illegal until the same year, right? It didn't get legalized, so nobody's any different. You were all getting it illegally until it was legalized. What are you going to say? It's not true? Then who are you lying to? About the opioids when they wanted to what? Decriminalize it? Why would you do that if they're addictive? Those are prescriptions, opioids, right? And then the recreational, besides the prescription. So if you're taking pain medication, opioids, whatever pain, we went over tolerance. How many did you take a day? And then when it stops working, it's real pain. How many are they going to give you a day? And then when do you know? How do you know if you're addicted? How much money does that cost you? A long time. And now if you're on ODSP or Ontario Works, where do you get the money to pay for it? Then if you turn into an addict, what happens? You lose your house? A long time. You have to tell me more specifically which one. Tell me about CAM again. That's addiction and mental health, right? Canadian Mental Health Association is just mental health. CAM H is Canadian Addiction and Mental Health, Center for Addiction and Mental Health, whatever it is. Addiction and mental health. I should turn the volume down when you watch it back. I'm going to go over the mall, Peel Public Health, and the welfare clinic, harm reduction. When I posted the mayor, involuntary treatment. Involuntary, you have to put them in the hospitals, where the hospitals are, how many beds, they don't have beds. How they get rehab if they're all here in Malton and you have temptation. You have to hang out together. So it applies to the same alcohol addiction, lottery, gambling, the mall, right? Sports betting, all these addictions, right? Your tolerance, who you hang out with. If they tempt you, there's no point, right? You're not going to recover if your friend is going to convince you to go drinking. My mother lives on 7398 Netherwood Road. The MPP had his party, his coffee, down the street, 7494. What was the address? What do you think the joke is? That was after the car show in the mall. I walked up to Derry, right, to get Mary Jane. Then on the way back, I saw the car show at the mall. Then I went to my mother's house, and she had that flyer with the MPP having this coffee party. That was 4:30. I saw the flyer, and I said, "Should I go? Should I go at 5 and have coffee at his house?" Okay, it's not his house; it's somebody else's house, but I'm not getting into that. Now coming back from after I left the girl here screaming at me and insulting me with the security, I went to McDonald's and the trail lights were off. Then in front of the bar, you know the bar there, the little one, there were 2 police cars blocking it. So I don't know what they were doing there, but I was laughing so hard. The trail was completely dark. I had used my phone. You know the trail to McDonald's? You take the shortcut after you come out by the Darcel buildings, the worst place on earth. No, I walked behind the mall after I came to the Malton Greenway Trail from my house. This building. You want to make stuff up? When I got to the Darcel buildings, you were doing the same thing you're doing here, having a party, playing music. What's the worst one? Let's hear. What were the police doing in front of the bar? I don't know. What were they doing? Blocking it. The MPP was in there with Natalie Hart. The police were in there having coffee, drinking, planning the next event. I don't know. Somebody help me. You had to be somewhere. Which building are you at? That's all of Malton. The kids were at McDonald's enjoying their free time. Mm. Oh, good. Thanks for the noodles, lady. Good thing you live there in the bar with your family and run it. Or I wouldn't know about Officer Tyler and the people you were with. Oh my. What? It's all about, you know, in the Malton. What? When I was homeless, remember going over there and no bathrooms? That's the same bar. The lady let me use the bathroom. She gave me noodles, food, and water. I was nauseous walking around. Yes, I met a couple people. If it's her, what? They're too damn nosy. How I'd pay her back? I told her I'm gonna live here forever and get you. So, who were they saving? When I was there, we had a nice conversation about sisters and mothers in Trinidad and the way they treat their daughters and females. I think it's a good coincidence. Karma, even. I think I was working in Jack and Jill when they opened that bar, so maybe we discussed that. I don't know. Oh. Well, now they'll click in who my mother is and Jack and Jill and maybe a couple others like Food Fiesta and the beef patties. Oh, yeah, the lady that works there. How I know her before you start with the tasty patties and Drake. Oh, yes, 2019 was 2019 and we're in 2026. You can hear me because the sponge is gone. It got lost. This little sponge that goes on here on the microphone. That's why it's different. It's missing. You know why they put those buffers on the microphones? So they don't hear effects. Why do they make ASMR? What kind of microphone do you need for ASMR videos? A special one? Like what kind? One where you can hear everything? Like all the noises? Like really close up? Oh. Well, this is a good tip you'll never learn again. How do you play Fortnite? On your computer? Online? On your computer or your gaming system? How do you play Fortnite? With a computer or a gaming system? Yes, you, Malton, in English. You could always turn the sound off and read the comments. What's the difference between Fortnite and GTA, Grand Theft Auto? Okay, what about Call of Duty? I don't remember all of them. I had PlayStation 2, 3, 4, maybe. If I remember all. Remember you put me in the shelter, so I don't know what the one I brought here is. Could have been a couple. What do they have now? 6, 7, 8, 9? Yeah. Remember the games? Can you use them in all the systems? Then that's when I stopped. Oh. Like Saints Row and GTA, they're two different games. But I like them just the same. Saints Row 2, what year did that come out? For all the little millennials, maybe they know that game because it Yeah, they remake it like GTA. What year did that come out? The last one they remade. So all the kids can buy it and start buying it and get addicted for the next 10 years. Just like Guitar Hero. Same company, right? Rock Band, which one? You're laughing at seeing my Mo Pete jersey, didn't I? So I was going to hire him out of the mall now. The actual Mo Pete to run you over with his car. Oh. It's still 24. Mo Pete, the jersey. They took Morris Peterson, the Raptor jersey. Same thing they're talking about. That is who it is. The purple one, the Raptor jersey. Morris Peterson. No, I'm actually in Malton and they're laughing at it. After, the guy in the variety store doesn't like me because I left the Vince jersey and I keep asking where his ring is. That's the real Drake, right? And he's got the ring. So take that, Mo Pete. I mean, Malton. Yeah, did you know Mo Pete had an ECE? That was his education to teacher. So if he ever doesn't do basketball anymore, he's going to come back here and talk to Daniel for Sportsnet. Tell him about the Raptors and why they're losers. I mean, winners. I want a Raptor dress. Do you know where they sell Raptor dresses? Are they all going to be red? Can I get a black one? Make my own? Where do they have black jerseys? The ones in the mall are Vince. I lived here too long. No, that's where my Pokemon are. You told me to spend money, right? Big bucks. Yeah, I told them. I'm coming back for it. Just keep it. Don't sell it to anybody. Don't let them have it. Just be mean like they're mean when they stand in line and scream at you. What are the 3 starters in Pokemon? Pikachu? No, not Pikachu. My ring is here. No, if you see diamonds, you might come and take it. Yes, just like Anna. I think I wanted to take the box at one point. How long they've been doing this? What about Band Hero? What about DJ Hero? What's that other system? Xbox? What about them? They're like Nintendo, right? What about virtual reality? What about your phone? I can play Guitar Hero on my phone. I learned that at the shelter. No, I have special people around me. Which unit are you in, Guy? I told you guys are so loud. One of these days, somebody gonna Jonathan Davis. It ain't gonna be me. Yeah, that was yesterday. Why did you block the store, the picture of the Mary Jane store on TikTok today? Community violation. Did you see that? You went off that whole article. You're here telling me about what you take. Why did you community violate that picture? That's the store on Dairy where I go. Ridiculous. You want your business here in Malton, but you block that? Why? Which one is yours? The McDonald's? Do you understand what you did? So when I put the McDonald's, you're gonna block it. When I put Dollarama, you're gonna block it. Fresh Pro, you're gonna block it. Then what's the difference? I'd like to hear now. That's not the first time you did that. You did that last time when I posted the video. Same store. Why is McDonald's different? Why is the mall different? I want to hear now. Yeah, now. You don't understand what? You blocked me out of going to the car show. You don't want me to know about which one. All these events. You don't want me there. Why? And then you want me to sit here and live in Malton and do what? Why do you keep telling me we're going to Tim Hortons if you know there is none? Does any of it make sense? You put on social media that I jumped in front of a GO train. That's funny to you guys now? You want to live here? I should care about your housing and if you live here and your children? Show me where. What happened? What if my nephews actually saw that and believed it? What happened? My mother. You were where? On Instagram? On TikTok? Which one were you on? Same Officer Tyler. And then what do you mean and then? You saw me post that morning, right? That I was going to take my shower. Then I left the building and walked over the bridge. That's where I took the picture of the Brampton sign. And then what did you post about moving to Brampton? And who was it? You understand, take a good look around you. I live by myself, right? In my own apartment. I walk to my mother's house when she needs help. What are you talking about to me right now in English? Tell everybody in Canada and the whole world. For all the victims of narcissistic abuse. As if your family even cares about you. My father passed away when? My mother is the one. That's her house, right? Living in there. My brother and sister are in there, and my nephews are in the basement that I used to rent. My nephews. And their cats. You want to hear an interesting story? There was an argument over the letter, right? The cats were somewhere in the hospital, maybe the boarding, I don't know where. And they told me the cats were gone, that they euthanized the cats. Now you understand, right? Those cats are with my nephews in the basement. And you offed my dog and told me that was the trade off. You took my dog so the cats could be there, alive. You understand what you did to me? What I shouldn't tell or should tell Moulton? Because I still have to go to that house every day. And that's the second dog. PJ was the first one. You are the same people. And then Alicia, Melisha, Felicia, Nick, their cat and dog, they didn't live next door. I babysat. She paid me to watch Melisha's life. And now you're telling me, what about Nick? You went over their ages, what they have to do with me. She was married, had kids. What does this have to do with me? The joke? I moved into that house when I was 13. Noel lives, that's the house beside it, right? Daniel A. Wong lives where? Yeah, keep going. Where's the Tim Hortons there? Your whole lives? Whose whole life? That's Lancaster, Morningstar, and Marvin Heights, surrounding those houses. You want to talk about which one? All. All which one? They who? That's not my problem. You don't know where you live. You partied up a storm all day and all night yesterday. Had music playing, blasting, broke every rule possible. Whose grass is that? You want to see where we are? You actually a community violation for me, Mary Jane, an actual prescription going to the Mary Jane store in Malton. A community violation on my TikTok. Narcissistic abuse recovery life coach. You knew anything in 2019 about me when I opened that business? You actually? The grass in this building, building 1 and 2, where you have the tent set up. Who? What are you supposed to do with that grass? Who's able to use that grass? The tenants? The tenants who pay rent? Of which building, 1 or 2? I'm not laughing at anything. You telling me about money and I'm poor. I can be working, right? Real money as a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach from this unit, working from home. You what? Your mother is a bloodthirsty savage. She put your dog down and put your sister's cats down. That's wild. Let me tell you a story. My sister, my nephews, Alex and Kaylin, who are in the basement right now, those are her sons. Those are their cats that are in the basement with them right now that I visit. Those two cats there. So please stop before I have to hurt you because I promise you, I am done. My sister, you know something about who? Why don't you tell us more about my sister? Why don't you tell us about my niece, where she is? When I had the kitten in the house with the dog, where did the kitten go? Can we answer that? The little kitten. Remember the backyard? The shed? When the dog, PJ, my dog, found all those kittens that were living in the shed? What happened to the one I had that I had in the house in the cage? What happened to the reality? Where did that cat go, the little kitten I had? You guys did what? Speaking of my sister, Anne Marie, if that's the one you're talking about, because I have two sisters that are older, in case you want to catch up, and a brother that's younger. So go for it. Let me hear you again. Which sister are you talking about? Her cats, right? That's what you said? My sister's cats. She put them down, my mother. So go explain this. No, you're not getting away. Wine child. That's going to be on YouTube forever. LOL, why do you think that block party is illegal? It was sponsored by the real estate group, the building. They're saying the block party was sponsored by the building. If you can be working, then start working. What is stopping you? Pour on. Stop making excuses. Aren't you sick of your life yet? Okay, good. So Monday morning, you make sure you show this to the office, the management, because I'm waiting on them, right, for the lease to work from here. What's considered a business, right? Just like the renovation guy. I heard he got around last night. What was he doing? The Jason's renovation truck in this building, building one that parks here. Well, all of you and your man, your husbands, your what? Not my safety. I told you I'm a single female. This is my apartment where I pay rent. You explain better. You. Let me remind you. Did you tell me the date Alicia moved into that house? Who was the landlord when she moved in? Who was she paying rent to? Who owned the house on Netherwood? Next door there. When she moved in with her husband and kids. 3 kids, was it? 2 kids? How many kids did she move in with? Well, we understand I used to babysit in 2017. You saw the receipts, right? So let's try again. What was Alicia's job? What did she do for work? How did they pay their rent? If she separated from her husband, what year was that? I showed you, right? Lincoln, Nick. What year he was there? Same Nick, same son. So let me hear this again. What world? Any questions? No? Everybody good? Financial abuse, emotional dumpster, double standard, loophole, 7 years wasted, 5 years wasted. Why you made me homeless? Why didn't you want me in Malton living here? The homeless shelter, Cawthra shelter, Allen House, Brampton. Homelessness, housing, anything? Nothing? Path, subsidized housing, where you got the form? My website, Amy's Regal Life. Still nothing? Narcissistic abuse, NPD, mental health, schizophrenia, EJAZ, Mother's Day, Father's Day, the hospital. Why you put me there for 12 days? 72-hour evaluation. Why I needed 3. Spend the night in jail 3 times for what? All false calls. Why do you keep telling me that? Get off the hamster wheel. I'm the one who posted that. Did you see the name on it? What does it say? Go ahead, explain it. Mine child is male or female? Where do you live? You live by yourself? Do you rent an apartment? Do you rent a townhouse? This building? Whatever you wish to answer, as long as it's truthfully, or else it's a waste of time here. If you have to take 2 capsules, that's 1,200. Why are you on 3,000 milligrams? What are the side effects if you take too much? I'm non-binary in Malton. Do you think there's any hope for non-binary representation in Malton? What does that mean? It means you have no gender? So what is that supposed to mean to do what in Malton? Nobody else can answer it except you. I opened this business in 2019. Do you think I care, Malton? You put me in call for shelter. Why? You called the police on July 15th, 2019. Why did you do that? Where was Alicia on Morningstar? Then who was living in the house next door? The 2 houses. The day with the police when I was arrested. You were all outside, right, in the yard. I don't think the police forgot either. You were watering your lawns and taking care of your outdoor spaces there. You forgot? Why don't you take a minute and see if you can remember who was there? That's the same card I have, the police officer. Do you remember me posting that or not post it? I was sitting on the green box. They waited because I didn't know where the property was. They were supposed to be off the property. That's how I called for shelter. That's how I ended up in call for shelter. Well, the houses didn't move. The address didn't move. So, therefore, they're still the same houses, aren't they? Just 7 years later. What was that dog you were posting? Was that Jasper that you were sending me? Then who is Noelle? Where's that house? That wasn't how long ago? And which window? The day with the creature when he was parked, when I made that video to see if that was him. Is that unit 3 and 4 where he was? I just told you, I just was at my mother's house. I mowed the lawn and came back here to do this live stream. I left at 5 o'clock to come here and do this live stream where you're telling me about heavy breathing. I mowed the lawn, the backyard for her. I told her I'll come back and do the front. Who are you talking to again? I would like to meet you and your children to see what effects you had directly on Malton. Oh, you want to go over Brittany? When did she come to Malton? That's real easy. How did she get to Malton? Why does your mother use you like a slave while your sister and brother live it up in the house like kings and you live in Skid Row now building like a miserable peasant? That's called narcissistic abuse, the scapegoat. Do you remember if you've ever watched the videos, The Golden Child, where they tell you about which role? Triangulation, right? Who they blame? That would be me. It's never their fault. Why they kicked me out and called the police? Make more sense? For narcissistic abuse? Triangulation, why they don't talk to me, but they're all sitting in the house and they're best friends with each other. It is, but now we're in Malton, and for 7 years it's been a word, right? So why is it sad if I'm here recovering people? This is my business. You just said I live in my own apartment. Why do I let them abuse me? If I got away, I have my own apartment now, my own money, pay everything myself, buy everything myself that I need. That's recovery, right? That's the point of recovering, getting away from them, having your own life, being your own person. I don't know if you know this, but I told people a long time ago, you can only off somebody once, right? Once they're gone, they're gone. Maybe 7 years ago. Today, what I keep telling Malton, you seem like you don't even value life. Why are you worried about my credit score when you know that you destroyed it? When you made sure I didn't pay my bills and didn't have internet, and why are you doing that? You're talking about Jeff when he was the one in the rental, financially abusing everybody. I told you I would off him in real life, and you want to sit here and play games with me? He is a real child. You want to play? I told you I don't care. What happens to any of you? You passed that line months ago when you called on me falsely, telling people I had narcotics and I'm recording your children. Whatever happens in real life, like I said, with the police and children's aid, your house, if you lose it, not my problem. Real jail. That's what you have to learn, not me. You got me arrested, right? It was lucky they didn't take me. Did you hear me? They didn't take me to jail? Well, understand now what you did and what they did. Which one? Go over which one? This building, this apartment. Which one? The male and female. You put it up where? On what account on Instagram? Amy Seukeran fan? Why did you open that account? How long ago? That was a year ago? Why did you open it? Who do I like more? Is one TikTok and one Instagram. You understand I moved into this building after I came back to Malton, right? From Coffee Shelter, 5 years being homeless. I started the business in Malton. You made me homeless, then I came back and moved in here to this building. I told this building how many times? If so, which one should I separate? If it's the building that did this when I moved in, if it's Malton, if it's narcissistic abuse, if it's you personally, remember? Those are all my high school bullies, right? My ex narcissistic boyfriend, my narcissistic family. Same Daniel Drummond, right? Those are his mother and father that are right here that I talk to still in Malton. Same bus stop. So what would you like in reality when you already did this for 2 years? We can go over Andrea. Omesh, who do you want to go over? It's not going to change if you live here. Girl, you're 47. Why are you still talking about high school? Grow up and get over it. LOL. Because I didn't graduate high school. Do you remember that? I started my own business, a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach. Where did you hear the word narcissist? Do you want me to get over that Malton stole it? Malton moms took my business again my whole life. They've been financially abusing me. They're the abusers, narcissistic abusers. You want me to get over that when I'm living here? I don't think so, Malton moms. Try again. You, which you? I met Omesh in a homeless shelter. Stop telling me about him. I didn't know I was going to live in Malton, and I didn't know he was living in Malton. He's a stranger, right? How does that work for you? If you what? You keep smoking in your building. You going to be homeless again. Why don't you tell me about the hookers that were the front entrance last night? How many of you and what you were doing there? Because I'm pretty sure that's not an Elise. Are they hookers? Go ahead, all weekend. How many of you sit in the front entrance all week? Why? Why are you allowed to do that? God, are you serious? Nick is ashamed of you. Nick is Melicia's son. She is garbage. The worst piece of garbage. When she was next door because I wouldn't babysit, she did this to me. Let me hear again why her husband left her. Let's go over Militia and acid reflux Nick. How long did he have acid reflux? From what age? I want to prove. Maybe she did it. Maybe it's not acid reflux. You're feeding Militia pepper roti, right? So maybe it's an ulcer. Maybe you did it. I want to hear Alicia tell me now. What did Nick eat when he was little? What did you feed him? Pepper? What year did it say he was born on Facebook? I don't remember if somebody knows. 2015? That what it said? And I was born in 1979. So how old was he when I was born? When he was born? What's the age difference? How old is Alicia? Wine child. That's real good. You talking about Brittany now? What if I told her the same thing? You want to talk about what? Personal or business? What's her business? Event planning? Well, let's hear this again. Yeah, Eddie was that him outside by the police by the bar? Who are you talking to? She was in Cawthorne Shelter and said she got stabbed, right? I didn't tell me that. She told me that. I was there, told her 7 months, right? There was a 7 month difference. I wasn't in that shelter. So in 7 months, that's what happened. The people who were there. That's when she was there. I was there in February and then November. I went back. So that was the span between those months. That happened. You want reality? I can't change what I went through. Can you stop telling me about Brittany? She's nothing to me. Why? If I actually go and do something to you, what are you going to do? Why? You hired her a few years ago for my child's birthday. What does it say on her Instagram? Where was she a few years ago? In Malton? When was she in Niagara Falls? Where did she live before? What is her small hometown? Yes, ask now. So you can get off of this. You're going to go on Instagram now and go find her. Tell me who you're talking to. If I open this business in Malton down the street on Netherwood in 2019, where she was that same day. Yeah, until alcoholic, until. You tell me why an alcoholic is talking to me and telling me about event planning. How you plan events and go to events if you have the temptation of alcohol at every one. Why you went to rehab, but you're still telling me about what? Right here in Malton. $6:59. What time did I start? 6:03, 6:05. 5 minutes. She rented a bouncy castle and chocolate fondue station. There was a clown. I did event planning. Planning Me a Party was my business years and years ago in Malton. Then they had the castle in the mall and all that lady, craft lady. I owned a chocolate fountain. I bought it at the Bed Bath & Beyond. We went over this. You can buy bouncy castles now, just like those Walmart, right? All those snow globes you can buy for your lawn. So that was a long time ago, just to catch you up on who I am. That's the same Plan Me a Party. You saw that, right? In Malton, the business card I posted. Event planning. Just telling you. In Brittany and Malton. I made those business cards myself. I just printed them on my computer. That's why they're black and white, if you ever wondered. I don't remember how old I was, but Community Roots, I was 19 in Malton when I worked at Community Roots. Got that job. That was a full-time job. I was 19. Same library, same Ridgewood. We went over the nonprofits, right? That was the same Community Roots. That was the organization that paid for that program. Same one the police gave the money back to. Peel, Safe, right? Safe Center. All of you right now, understand. The mayor, the councilor, the nonprofits in Malton, Malton Moms, Malton Neighborhood Services, Malton Women's Council. You're the nonprofits. You're the ones on Instagram that keep doing what to me? Same city in Mississauga, same Peel. Amy Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach Canada. Just making sure, in case you watch this later. Trying to cover everything as quick as I can. Why did I get fired from what job? Do you remember when I did the video making cotton candy? I don't know if you ever watched that on YouTube. The cotton candy, making it. Do you remember the hot dog when I did the hot dog roller? That video when you had the barbecue, the same MPP. Remember when he had his barbecue, the community barbecue, and I had the hot dog roller? That's the same guy who had the coffee down the street from my mother, by the way. Same exact guy, if you remember. I went to the community center and then you had a fit. The police had a fit. Somebody had a fit and I left. I didn't go get a hot dog. But I'm sure you guys ate good, didn't you? I came home and had my own barbecue. Now you're all caught up. You can go watch it. Oh, yo. Well, who sponsored that community barbecue at the community center when I moved here? Do you remember who sponsored it? Was it the Malton PIA? Was it him? Because he was running for what? An election? To be MPP? Oh, that makes sense. Maybe it's an annual thing he does to keep people voting for him. There's a picnic at Wildwood today. Just remember that. Wildwood Park as I passed. Imagine if I had a car. All the things I could do in a day with that car. All the places I could go. You blocked me out, right, of the Mississauga community groups, having my own nonprofit, destroyed my narcissistic abuse business. This morning told me you brought Andrea here to combat narcissistic abuse. You want to combat narcissistic abuse. If it was rape, you would combat it? You want to combat narcissistic abuse? Does that make sense to you? It's abuse. Why do you want to combat it? Why are you stopping me from telling people? You think that's going to change anything? That's about an hour. I'm going to end this one here. Thank you for joining in. Hopefully, we'll do these more often and get more sense of reality right here in Malton, where I'm going to be living the rest of my life. What happened in 2 years, much less 7 years, with all of Canada. Bye, everybody.